Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Tim McCauley coming with another video. Today I got another 6v6 Wi-Fi battle here on Omega Ruby with the Mega Alakazam team that I made. So no changes to my team. My opponent Carlos had a team of Politoed, Conkeldurr, Espeon, Blastoise, Goodra, and Noivern. So interesting team. He has 2 Dragon types, 2 Water types, and then he has the Fighting and the Psychic. So the only Mega Evolution possibility here is the Blastoise, but he's also got Politoed, which means it might be a Rain team. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say Blastoise does get access to Swift Swim. So that's at least what I was thinking as I was going through this. That might be his hidden ability. I'm not too sure what his hidden ability is. So and then with so the only problem is with my team, I'm okay if my opponent has 1 water type Pokemon. I can kind of deal with it. If I get it down low enough, Alakazam can come in and finish it off with an Energy Ball. I have Gastrodon, which has Storm Drain, but 2 of them it's a little more complicated. Especially since the rest of my team doesn't is kind of weak to it. Because most of the time the water type also carries an ice type move. So Salmus is going to have a hard time. Carbink is going to have a hard time. Pyro is going to have a hard time, especially in the rain. That's pretty much a guaranteed one-shot, even on Carbink. So I was kind of thinking I need to take care of that. Carbink here is pretty good because he just have 2 Dragon types. So it does give me immunity to Dragon type moves, but also gives me the Moonblast, which isn't going to do much, but it could be like a 3 or 4 hit KO, which isn't too bad. So also one thing to note, all those Pokemon are pretty much special attackers except for the Conkeldurr. They could be a physical set, but they're known for being special attackers. So we're going to go ahead and get this battle started. And with this one, I was kind of thinking what I should lead with. And I know I always lead with Carbink, but this time it actually made sense, and so it does pretty well type-wise against his team. And he does lead with the Noivern. But the thing is he does have the Espeon in the back. So I was like, Stealth Rocks could be a little bit of a risk. And Noivern's also, I've seen it run Taunt a lot in singles. So I was like, I'm just going to go for the Moonblast. It was a safe play. So he does switch into the Espeon, so I'm like, okay, I'm glad I didn't go for the Stealth Rocks. But it did a respectable amount of damage, to be honest. So he ends up going for a Calm Mind. Which out here I was like, I don't really know what this guy wants to do to me. Because, I mean, he might have Energy Ball, but that's about it. But so that's why I decided to stand and just keep on attacking. But he sets up another Calm Mind. So at this point, it's a little risky. The thing here is I was thinking about exploding because I know an explosion would take this thing out. But I did want to get the Stealth Rocks up for that residual damage. It does really help set up for my Mega Alakazam waking. So here I switch out into Scizor, and I was like, he might have the Energy Ball, so this is what I'm going to go into. But he actually has Psychic, so that's going to do a ton of damage. Luckily I resist, or else it would have knocked me out. But at this point, the reason why I switched out is for the Bullet Punch. So we were able to knock this thing out. A costly knockout, I'd say, because Scizor is important with a knockoff and stuff. So he goes into his Noivern, and I just go straight back out into my Carbink. Because now I can set up my rocks, and I resist both. I'm immune to one, and I resist his other stabs. So he ends up going for a Flamethrower, which is perfect. I get that up very, very nicely. And he's going to withdraw here, so I'm thinking maybe this thing might be choiced. A lot of them are, because we haven't seen the Life Orb. So he ends up going into Politoed. And we do see it as Drizzle, so it's not. I think its other ability is Unnerve. But that's going to be nice for us. That's free Stealth Rocks for me. So now whenever he switches in, he's going to be taking that residual damage. And I switch out here. I'm predicting a Scald or a Hydro Pump. So I go into Gastrodon so I can be immune to it. But he actually goes for Hypnosis. And luckily I get the dodge. But interesting choice. And then he goes for Spider. So I'm like, so maybe this is more of a support Politoed. Which I guess most of them are anyways. I think this is the first time I've seen one in singles. I see him mostly in doubles. But he's going to get the Confusion. I'm going to hit myself in Confusion, but you're going to see it's not going to do very much. And then after the Leftovers recovery, I'm going to go back up above 200. So I'm at 202, so I took 16 damage from that. So he's going to switch out, realizing there's not much he can do against me. And he goes into that Blastoise. So I'm like, okay, interesting choice. by him. I guess he didn't really have anything to switch into, since he knows I carried the Ice type move, so he couldn't really go into one of his Dragon types. So I snap out of Confusion. I get the Earth Power off. Again, a respectable amount of damage, and I do get the special defense drop, which is going to be huge. Because now that would have probably been like a 4-hit KO, but now it might turn into a 3-hit KO. So we do see this Blastoise does have Rain Dish, so that is an ability I was wrong. But that's what I was thinking. So now I know. But he's going to Mega Evolve here into Mega Blastoise, which is probably his best move. He goes for Aura Sphere, which would be the most powerful one he's got. And that's going to do, I don't know. That's like a 3-hit KO against me. It's not really that much damage. So one more Earth Power will knock this thing out. So at this point, like Gastrodon does walls pretty much the rest of his team. The only problem here is this right here. He decides to stay in, which I think is probably the best play he could have made. I don't know why he went for Dragon Pulse. He might have been predicting a switch into Salamence to quad resist the Aura Sphere. But I just stay in because I know I can knock that thing out. But it was still a good play by him because now you look, I'm low with Gastrodon, so most likely a Noivern could come in and take me out, or a Goodra as well. I mean, I do have Ice Beam, but it's a Goodra. So I think that was a good play by him, covering the switch into the Salamence as well. So I go in the Carbink here. I didn't really know what to expect. He does go for Toxic, so I'm glad I switched into Carbink, who's kind of becoming a little less useless now. Just because, well, I guess he's not becoming less useless. He's just, since we're getting into the later game, he's not going to be as good. I would rather have Carbink go up against Noivern than Goodra, since Goodra is especially defensive, Noivern is just fast. So I go for a Moonblast here. We actually dodged the Iron Tail, which is really nice. But I don't think it would have knocked me out anyways, since I am max defense and it's not stab for him. And I think Goodra has better physical or special attack than physical attack. So he does go for the Iron Tail and misses it. And I don't know. I go for Explosion here. I'm like, okay, he's probably going for Iron Tail. I'm gonna survive with a little bit of health. I'm just gonna go for the Explosion. So that second miss didn't really matter all that much, I don't think. And I do get an Explosion off on this Goodra. Lots of damage. And we trade Carbink, which I'm always fine with. That's kind of the purpose of Carbink. So luckily this Goodra doesn't have a Soul Vest, it is leftovers. But at this point, I just come in with Salamence, since I know I outspeed. This Intimidate, he does have Iron Tail, so he might have Dragon Claw. He might be a physical set, but Dragon Claw is going to be enough. I was thinking maybe a D-Dance, but I was like, I don't want to risk a crit, because he could be a mixed set and drop like a Dragon Pulse on me, so that's going to be a knockout. So now he's going to bring back in the Politoed, which is scary. Most likely going to carry Ice Beam. So he's going to set up the rain again. He does a really good job bringing in the Politoed shortly after the rain goes out, instead of switching it in when the rain's already out. So I give him props for that. But I had a problem with that with my Mega Tyranitar doubles team. But I go in the Gastrodon here, predicting the Ice Beam or a potential Scald, trying to get a burn. But he goes for Hypnosis, so Gastrodon's going to be put to sleep. But it's not the end of the world, because against Politoed can't really do much to my Gastrodon. He can hit me with Ice Beam, because we've already seen Hypnosis and Swagger. So the other two moves are most likely a Water type move and an Ice type move. It might even just be a Water type move. He might not even have an Ice type move. So he switches out into Kinkeldr, and that's a kind of a problem for my Gastrodon. I mean, Gastrodon's bulky and stuff, but I still need Gastrodon for that potential Ice Beam, especially against the Noivern. So, but I want to get a Recover off, so I can get up to high enough HP to where even if his Noivern drops a Draco Meteor on me, I can still survive and hit it back with an Ice Beam. So I bring back in the Salamence here for the Intimidate, and I'm predicting a Drain Punch, so I can resist the Drain Punch. So you're going to see, it actually does a lot, and I was like, wow, a critical hit, that makes sense. So, unfortunate, but I go for an Aerial Ace here. I was like, I could go for a D-Dance. Nope, not going to risk it, because Alakazam could finish this thing off. He goes for another Drain Punch. So I'm like, oh, I wonder if this thing is banded, actually. Good information. He could have been predicting a switch, too. Just like I switch in just for the Intimidate. Because at this point, since he's behind, he has to make good predictions and stuff. But he does switch out here, so I just something that I have in the back of my mind, like it could be banded. Here I go for another aerial ace. I guess I could have gone for a Dragon Claw, because Dragon Claw would have knocked out Kinkeldr at that range, and it would have covered switches. So, but at this point, I'm okay with letting summons go down. He had a lot of damage off from both these Pokemon. And the thing, I wanted to bring in Alakazam here, but Noivern's base 123 speed, Alakazam is base 120, so if he's timid, if he's max speed, then he would have outsped me. So that's why I couldn't bring in Alakazam right there. So I bring in Scizor just for the Bullet Punch, and then he brings back in Kinkeldr. And at this range, I wanted to bring in Alakazam again, but I couldn't risk anything. And I was like, okay, I'll just go for another Bullet Punch and knock it out. So Scizor coming through. I mean, the Bullet Punch is, I love priority moves. I mean, you get Bullet Punch with Technician, Stab, Choice Band. It's just an incredibly powerful move. So he's going to bring me back in Politoed. This is his last Pokemon. And on this, I'm locked in the Bullet Punch, just so you guys know. I am Focus Banded, but I do have knockoff on this. And I was thinking maybe I should knock it off. And I was like, nah. And then at this point, when I was looking at my remaining Pokemon, I was like, actually, I should have knocked this thing off. I should have switched in Gastrodon there. I mean, he got lucky. I mean, the one time I didn't switch in Gastrodon, he went for the Water type move. But since Gastrodon was already asleep, and since I was immune to Water type moves, but at this point I was like, okay, well, actually, I could just send in Pyroar, get a Hyper Voice off. That's pretty much going to knock it out. I wasn't expecting it to knock it out. I still have Gastrodon, because I think Gastrodon could take this thing one-on-one. I just didn't want to stall it out, because we still haven't seen an Ice type move. We've only seen 3 moves, so the only way he could win is if he had like Energy Ball. I don't even know if he can win Energy Ball or Hidden Power Grass, or if he got a Freeze with Ice Beam. But here I just bring in Alakazam. This is it. I know I outspeed this thing, so I just Mega Evolve and finish it off with a Psyshock. So Alakazam not being able to do too much. That's really, if I would have Mega Evolved him earlier and switched him out, then I would have been able to finish off the Kinkeldr, the Noivern, and I probably could have one-shot this Politoed. Maybe not. I don't know. But it's still a relatively close battle. I got rid of the Espeon early, which really helped me out. Once it was at like 50% health, it was already in Bullet Punch KO range from Scizor. So he was probably expecting me to go for a Bug-type move and being able to outspeed me. But pretty close battle. I mean, I had a commanding lead, but with the Pokemon he had last, I mean, there were like my Pyroar never hit the field because his Politoed was just dominating the field so much. So, I mean, and once I sent it in, he was able to take it down. Carbink was, like I said, my team can deal with 1 Water type. When it's 2, it's a little more difficult. So, luckily, I mean, if Politoed was able to survive against Alakazam, one move, a Scald in the rain probably would have knocked me out. So, still a pretty good team. Well played by my opponent. He made some predictions that kind of went back to bite him. But still a good team, still a good battle. I think I only had 2 Pokemon left. I had the Alakazam and the Gastrodon, which was at 50% asleep. So, a good team. I had a lot of fun. Interesting to see a rain team like that. But that's pretty much going to be it. If you guys want to battle me, go ahead and let me know. If you got any suggestions for a future team, go ahead and let me know. But that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.